let's go ahead and work on the hands. Alright, so making sure symmetry is turned on. I'm going to smooth this out. Crank on my smoothing. Go. I'm going to go to my clay strip and just make this look more like skin-like, and by adding some clay strip here in between where the tendons are and then smoothing it, we could get more of a skin-like feel to this. So very subtle skin-like. This is what gives your work believability, realism. Just adding little details like that. And here, I'll go ahead and just add a little bit more folds, indication of the folds like this. And also here, indication of the folds like that. And smooth it. Right, and then could go back to the wrinkles here and redefine the wrinkles that are in here. For this one, you could go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and just set it to this studio light here. If I want to see less shadow, I do go to the studio light. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and bring down my smoothing. Bring it down some more. All right. And here, I'm going to go to clay strip. Add little folds on the skin and just smooth it. And don't forget that it also shows a little bit on the side here. And I'm gonna move this way. You don't want to move it too much because you still want to keep the silhouette as is. If you move the geometry too much, you might have a little stretching on the texture. So you don't want that. Subtle movement is fine. And we go to our draw sharp and gonna add more of the indication of the wrinkles here. Smooth it. And we don't want to just have it completely abruptly stop. We want to kind of spread out the wrinkles here. So around here we have deeper wrinkles, and then we could gradually fade it out by using the draw sharp brush. We could add just very subtle details, and then as it goes farther away from the knuckles, we get less wrinkles. So deeper here, and then it fades out. Gotta smooth that out. Just like that. Okay, and then we could work on this here. Around this area, we're going to have less wrinkles in here. I'm not even really using my clay strip brush too much for this part here. Just using my draw sharp to just kind of indicate very subtle wrinkles here. And I'm going to crank up my smoothing slightly. Back onto my draw. And so really around the areas where your fingers bend, just add subtle wrinkles on there. Smooth it. Okay, and then we could go back to our fingernails and spend a little bit more time just kind of refining it, smoothing it, especially on the edges, and smooth. Same here. And go to my draw sharp, carve that in, and then gonna go this part here. Carve this in. Also here, gonna carve that in, and use a draw clay strip brush. Go. And right here, smooth it, and I'm gonna go to my draw brush, bring down my intensity. This area is looking a little flat, so I'm just gonna bulk this up slightly. Here you go. Bulk this up and smooth it. Draw sharp and just carve this in. Carve this in. Go. And carve it in. I'm going to hold control and just carve this in like this, so it looks like there's a little sharpness on the nail. Hold control using the draw sharp. Just carve this in like that. Carve this in like this. And here, carve it in just like that. And now we go to our clay strip. Add a little bit more clay in this area so there's no weird depth on the mesh. Same here, we could use the clay strip to just add a little clay here. Like that. And then smooth it. If you ever sculpted with clay before, like a real life clay, it's very similar. If you see any lumpiness under a real life clay or Play-Doh, whatever it is, whatever clay you're using in real life, you just slab some clay on top and smooth it out and blend it all in. Very similar. It's been a while since I've done real life clay, like sculpted real life clay. But I used to do it a lot when I was in college. And yeah, since I met ZBrush and Blender, I barely do really any of the traditional stuff anymore. Sometimes I do draw here and there because I guess it's just easy access to pencil and paper. You know, you don't have to buy any clay or any of that stuff. But yeah, if you're just a beginner and you want to just polish and just get better with sculpting overall, I think definitely working with real life clay would also help you, or just drawing in general. Okay, and I'm gonna go to the thumb. Let's show a little love to the thumb. We've been neglecting this for a bit. So in the thumb area, we're gonna have a little bit more folds around this part here. All right, thumb area, here we go. So definitely gonna use my clay strip. Just add some folds around this area. Okay. And of course, add a little bit of clay around this here on the side. A little bit on the side. Smooth it. Okay. And then using my draw brush, I'm gonna bulk this up, and using my draw sharp, go, and could add a little bit more wrinkles in this area. It's not just gonna fade out like that. And smooth that out. We could further work on the nails here. And just further refine these nails. A little play here and there. Okay. And using my regular draw brush to just kind of bulk this area up. There you go. And I'm gonna go carve this in and hold control, carve this out, get more of that sharp feel for the nails. Smooth it, scrape, go, and carve this in. Add a little bit more skin fold around this area. Go. Little skin fold here, here. Smooth it. Here you go. And I think in this part here we could add some more subtle wrinkles. So we got this fan-like shape. You have this, everybody have this. So you guys could check that out. You could even use your finger as a reference. Use your hand as a reference. And then we could go at the palm part and just further add some details on this part of our hand. So some wrinkles here. We already have the bigger forms. So the bigger forms, the secondary bigger forms are the shapes that you see here right now. And then what we're adding are more refined lines to supplement the secondary forms there. And smooth it. And let's not forget this area. Gonna add a little bit more here. A bit more wrinkles around this area. So here we're going to add some more wrinkles here also. You're gonna see that on your hand. You see it also a lot on this side. Some wrinkles here. Don't forget to smooth out the ends. So you could add some, carve in some lines there, curvy lines, and then smooth out the ends to give more of the realistic feel, so it kind of just blends in. And also here, of course, we're going to be bending our wrist a lot, so obviously this is gonna have some wrinkles around this area. Bends a lot right here. And back over here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more details here, some breakups. And so if you see something wrong with the forms, you could fix it now before you add the wrinkles. Because if you add the wrinkles on top, it'll be hard to fix with the secondary shapes, because that means you're gonna have to redo the wrinkles, you know. So that's why I tell you guys to spend as much time as you can doing the basic forms and secondary forms first before going on to the details. And plus, it doesn't matter how much wrinkles you have, how much details you have, or pores you have. If the basic shape is not looking good, your stuff is just not gonna look real. It's gonna look very off. So I think the most important part is going to be the basic forms. It's more important than the wrinkles. More important than the pores is going to be the basic forms and secondary forms. And that's what you should spend the most time on. Smooth it. Okay, and then we could go add our minor wrinkles here. So this, also here. Gonna go this way, that way, and here. So here. Alright, great. Then we could also add a little bit more here. So right here on the side. Also here. Very important. Okay, and gonna add a little bit of wrinkles also, very subtle wrinkles here. So there are some parts where it's gonna be deeper and some parts are going to be not as deep. And at this point, it's also good for us to start adding the veins for our character here. So using the sculpt draw, I'm gonna just add the veins, and I'm going to just first make sure I turn on stabilize stroke. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down a bit. Strength to bring it down. Alright, so something like this. We see most of the veins is gonna be on the forearm. Underneath here. See a lot of veins in this area. And what I like to do is I like to smooth out the ends to just kind of blend it in. So, go back to my draw brush. So let's say I add some veins right here, right? What I like to do is I like to smooth out the ends here. Just kind of blend it all in. Smooth it. Like that. And maybe I want that to be more subtle, so I smooth it all. And back onto the draw. Bring down the brush size. Okay, and also in the front, good. Think about the veins that we could add here in the front. I could add some veins here. Maybe a little too big. Go. And here, some veins. Veins right here. Also, you're gonna see a lot around this area. Now you don't want to leave it like that. You want to go to the ends and just smooth the ends. Kind of blend it all in. Smooth that out. Yeah, just smooth it. And go back here and maybe add a little bit around this area right here. There you go. So some veins are going to pop out more and some veins are going to be more subtle. And when I'm doing veins, I am thinking of the letter Y shape. Alright, and smooth that out. Looking at this is a little too straight, so I think if we add veins right here, it will give it a nice break like this. See? Just by adding that, it gives it a nice little break on this straight muscle right there. Okay. And yeah, like around this area is where we're going to see the most veins right here. Alright, also here. Okay, and let's not forget to add some veins on the top of the hand here. You're going to see a lot of veins here. Especially if the guy or the female is muscular, you're going to see more veins. Smooth it. Okay, I'm going to go and set this to Studio Light Basic Side EXR. Alright, so this will allow us to see more of the shadows. Smooth that. So the areas where I feel there's overlapping, I'm going to smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, great. And smooth it. Alright. Got nice veins here going. Alright, and I'm gonna go turn off my stroke here. Stabilize stroke. I'm gonna go to my draw sharp and just add a bit more wrinkles in this area. Bring down my strength. Also here, add a little bit more wrinkles here so it doesn't just like, you don't want it to abruptly stop, so just gonna add some wrinkles. And then also here a little bit. So our fingers, definitely not the smoothest thing. You can just imagine, because we're using it a lot, we're using our fingers to draw, to carry something, so our hand is going to be pretty wrinkly. Okay. So here, going to add a little bit more. A little bit more wrinkles there. Alright, and I think this is it for our hand. And I think I'm going to go back to the neck here. I think the neck is too, I would say, too bulky. I mean, it's too defined, I think. So I don't think we need to make it that bulky. So I'm going to kind of smooth that out. Smooth this out. Looks too defined. So I'm going to make sure that we have more of a regular guy's neck. This is not really like a huge bodybuilder or anything. And we don't want him to really look like he's flexing his muscles all the time. So, okay. So I think it's good to go for the tertiary forms for our character. We got the wrinkles on the face. Right there, you can see subtle wrinkles. Also on the lips. I think could add a bit more here. So here, smooth it. Go. Alright, so subtle wrinkles and folds, tertiary forms for the body, hence is the head. Alright,